Hi, it's Ann, and gosh, it's been, let's see, it's been almost a week since we put out our last video. And one of the reasons why is because what I didn't say earlier is that our family, we were sick in April, pretty much for the whole month into the beginning of May. We got like one or two bugs. We wanted to go somewhere. We had my husband was going to have like a business trip, and we were going to try to hop along, and that was going to be down in Florida. And then that kind of went out the window, but it was just as well because, you know, my daughter and I were starting to get the bug. And then after that, we thought we'd go down there by ourselves, try to do a econo deal, and we were still sick. And then we thought, well, we would try to go to Myrtle Beach, and we love going to Myrtle Beach. Usually we go at least once, maybe even twice a year, if we can, you know, make it. And we've been going for years, but we were still too sick, so it's like we did like 3 times the reservations, 3 times the canceling reservations. Anyway, it was pretty crazy. But what happened was this weekend, or actually last weekend, for Memorial Weekend, we were gonna kind of stay around the house, and we found this kind of, it's a real nice, it's like a gazebo, and the price is really great. And so we figured we'd put the gazebo up, kind of sit outside. And see, we live in a rural area, so our backyard is it's excuse me, give me a second here. The backyard is it's a real good size, and then we have a view in the back. So I thought, well, it would be nice if we could sit out in the evenings. Of course, you know, we have mosquitoes, so we have to kind of watch out for that. But the gazebo that we got has like a built-in mosquito net, so we figured we could sit outside and kind of get some fresh air, look up at the stars, which, you know, we really enjoy doing, and kind of enjoy some outdoor stuff, because the last couple of years, really for a while, we haven't done a lot of outdoor stuff as much. So I thought that would be nice. And so we went ahead, and so that was up until about, we went ahead and got the gazebo and everything, the weekend prior to Memorial Weekend. And then by Thursday, I was looking at my tablet, and I noticed they were saying, hey, you know, a lot of people are traveling on Memorial Weekend. They're going places. And they says it's probably been the most since last year, or even back to 2005, before, you know, the recession hit. And then I started looking at the weather, and the weather didn't look too bad in Myrtle Beach. So I figured, well, you know, it was you know, it was Thursday, and I thought, well, I said, my husband, excuse me, I'm a little plugged up here, it's allergies. If my husband could, if he could, you know, take the day off, like one day off, like on Friday, we'd have a 4-day weekend, and we could go down there and, you know, just have a blast. Now, normally we don't travel. We try to go like early in the spring or the fall when it's cooler, because I don't tend to do too well in the heat. And so so anyway, normally we don't really travel too much by the end of May. That'd be, we have in the past, like once in a while, but it's extremely rare. And so by Thursday, I was I looked at my daughter, you know, I looked at Rose, and I said, well, maybe we can just kind of check out and see how much the hotels are like, and just because I mean, we're talking, you know, last minute. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna drink something here real quick because I know I'm sounding pretty groggy here. Hold on a minute. Excuse me. I don't mean to be rude. Just trying to get the frog out of my throat. So anyway, she found some places a little bit more pricier than the early spring or the fall, but you know, we've been dying to just kind of just go somewhere, and so I called my husband. I said, look, do you think you can take Friday off? And he was like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but his boss was real nice and said, yeah, you can have that, you know, the 1 day off. And so we, it was very last minute, and we only had really Thursday to get ready, and we just kind of, we did what we could, and then, you know, we just kind of packed you know, we just kind of packed a few things, just you know, not too much clothes, got in the car, and then we went down the road. And the wonderful thing about it is like, we were there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and all 4 days were sunny. We had one night where we had some rain, but it was like at 10 o'clock at night. But it was just beautiful weather. It was a little bit warmer, but it wasn't too bad. And we did a lot of things. We were told that it was going to be a bike week down there. So it was exciting because it had more of a party atmosphere. Because sometimes we've been down to Myrtle Beach during those quiet months, and it's a little bit, you know, it's kind of quiet. But it was so nice to see a lot of younger people coming in and having a good time. And, you know, you can hear the bikes, and then you could see the cars that were fixed up. And, you know, a lot of the bikes had the, you know, the pretty lights and everything. And, of course, everyone looked so, you know, I mean, it was a beautiful crowd of people. Everybody looked great. There were some things that, you know, made it a little challenging. They had some, you know, barricades, and, you know, certain things like that kind of, but, you know, we still managed to get around, and, you know, we got a chance to stick our, you know, our feet in the water and see the seashells, and got a chance to kind of, you know, go around. And Myrtle Beach, I mean, the city itself, it's to me, it's one of my favorite beach towns. It's been one of my favorite beach towns for years. And then when we went down this weekend, this Memorial Weekend, of course, it was they have a couple of bike weeks, and they have, like, you know, like Harley Davidson week, and then this was a Memorial Weekend. Is like, it's called the 2017 Black Bike Week. And excuse me, I still got the frog in my throat. And so they had, you know, how you say that the city was a little bit more, it was a little bit different. Some things, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think in some ways I wish that, you know, there weren't like any barriers or barricades, you know, because it made it harder for the bikers and the visitors, for people to get around and stuff like that. And of course, there's a bit of a history. You know, I'm not gonna go into it, but I think you can kind of, if you go on other YouTube stations and you look at, you can look at videos, you can you'll see how exciting Memorial Weekend is for being down there at Myrtle Beach. but also too, you get a little bit of history too on the we call the Black Bike Week down there at Myrtle Beach. So some things, I'll be quite frank with you, is I like to keep things in a positive tone, but on the other hand too, there's other things going on besides just barricades, and but to me, I seen it was just so nice to go down there and see. We ran into a lot of nice people down there. Pretty much everyone we ran into was very, very nice. And then some things, I'm not gonna lie to you, some things like the barricades and the reason why they had the barricades, it kind of, it bothered me, because, to me, if you're going to have, a bike week every week in May, pretty much, it should be the same for every, like every week for each group, whatever group of bikers come in, everything should stay the same. But, when we went, like I said, it's still a nice party atmosphere, but, I don't believe, how do you say it? The barricade should not have been there. The extra police and the extra stuff was, I believe, was unnecessary, because everybody that we saw there during Bike Week was very nice. Everybody was, everybody was like, I call a gentleman, and everybody behaved like, very, very respectable, very nice ladies, nice gentlemen. And you can tell everybody was having fun. So I think those measures were unnecessary. But I guess I'm praying that, people will, we talked to one couple that was, I believe they were staying at the same hotel we were, nice couple. And I remember the husband said to me that, he said, I don't, he wasn't crazy about coming back because of, the barricades, or, just, it was all everything set in place where, it's just, that type of thing, what I'm saying. It was just, but don't get me wrong. I have, we've been going to Myrtle Beach for years, and, every time we go down there, we have a great time, because the beach, it reminds me of Florida, even certain parts of California. It's a very exciting city. They got a beautiful Ferris wheel. They've got so many attractions. They have a boardwalk. They have piers. They got restaurants. They got what's really nice about it, the hotels are literally right there on the beach. So if you're handicapped like myself, it's so nice to be able to just be you're right there on the beach. It's just, they got so much to do. It's a very exciting place. It's a very large city. And to me, if you're not going to Florida, Myrtle Beach to me is the next best place, because it's really exciting. But like I said, we've always, like pretty much we've been going to Myrtle Beach for at least 10 years, maybe longer than that. And we always have a great time. This time though, I was disappointed when I seen the barricades and, all the security measures and stuff that were put in place. And only because if you have that type of thing, it should be there for other times, for other, bikers that come in. It should be equal for everybody, not just because it's this particular, bikers or whatever coming in. It should be equal all the way across the board, And so that's where I felt, to me, and it's a strong word I'm using, but I felt that there was too much fear or prejudice, and which was unfounded, definitely unfounded. And but you know, and this is where, it's I think most people, we all felt it's like, this is ridiculous, but on the other hand, during the rest of the year, if you go down there, I mean, it's nice. It's beautiful beaches, but like I said, this time was quite a eye opener for us. But of course, I don't want to slam, how do you say it? I don't want to slam a city or a town or a state, because, but on the other hand, I have to simply tell you exactly how it was when we went down there this past Memorial Weekend. We had a great time, but like I said, if they could have minus the barricades and so much security, and and of course, I'll be quite frank with you. I think there was a certain amount of and of course we kind of looked at the history too, many years when we got back home, and how there was, like, to me, racial prejudice. If you could take, if they could have, then I think the trip would have been even more, super great. But to me, we were extremely, as a family though, we were extremely thankful to be able to go down there. We were extremely thankful for the, my daughter picked out the hotel and everything. She did a great job. She did a great job in picking out places to go and do things. So I'm not gonna lie to you, we had a great time despite all that. And so we plan to go back down there, but I'm just praying that in the future, I'm praying that they will rethink things and try to, respect everybody, like give everybody the same level of respect. That would be great. That would be great. But other than that, though, it was really great to get away. So, and then we came back, and then we had to kind of do a few things. One thing that happened last night, my husband, he started getting pain. We didn't know what it was in his mouth, and then he went to the dentist today. We found out he needs a root canal. He's in a lot of pain. So if anybody's watching this video, if you could say a prayer for Jack, I would greatly appreciate it. Your prayers are always greatly appreciated. And of course, we want to pray for everybody out there. Like I said, I always want to pray that everybody's happy and healthy. We don't want anybody dying. We want everybody doing great, and we want good things for everybody. So, but we are extremely thankful for everything. I think that's a key thing. The last 2 days I was watching some videos on, just here in the United States and the economy and everything, and how people are doing, and of course, how our brothers and sisters are doing in other states. And there's a lot to pray about, not just, and of course around the world as well, what's happening there. But yeah, there's a lot to pray about right now. And like I said, it's I'm thankful to be able to pray. I need to pray more. And but yeah, it's just certain things, it's I'm praying that things will keep on going good. But I can see that some things, like, I'll basically, like in the mornings, I'll wake up, and one of the first things I do is, I'll go use the ladies' room, And then I'll look at my tablet, and then I look at the news, and I've seen a lot of things on the news, and then I look around. It's like, you get in the car and you look around, where you live, and then you can, like, even we got a chance to look at, going down towards Myrtle Beach, and you start looking around, and on the way back, now we think the place might have been, a place that was affected by, Hurricane Matthew, which happened last year. But it's not just Hurricane Matthew. It's just, you can look around your city or your town, you start noticing like certain businesses are shutting down and things like that. And of course, we know that, a lot of us are doing a lot more online shopping. It's, the prices are good, the convenience, stuff like that. But on the other hand, too, what worries me is sort of like the things that, stuff that I enjoyed, or people older than myself or younger than myself, it's sort of like you don't want to lose those places. Like I've seen some videos on like how a lot of the malls are starting to, a lot of them are starting to shut down, or they're being used for other creative spaces. And while we were down there in Myrtle Beach, we went to, my daughter found a nice mall. It's one of the newer ones. And now it wasn't filled with tons of people, but it was really nice to go around the mall because it was hot outside. And me, in my case, I can't walk like long distances without, a wheelchair. So we're going around and we're having a good time. And there's one particular business that, at our mall near our house, it was shut down a while back, and it had a lot of great stuff. It had t-shirts. It's a little bit like Hot Topic. You have t-shirts, and you can get, your favorite, comic book heroes, or they have anime, they got a little bit of everything. Pop Funkos, things like that. Those are really neat. And they have a lot of neat stuff. And that one store, it's shut down near our house. But then we saw the same store down there in Myrtle Beach. And we were so excited because it's like we missed the store so much. And we found it down in Myrtle Beach. And so, I'm praying that, I know it's like right now, it's a catch-22 because, the last 2 days I was looking at some of the videos and the real economic statistics about how, most Americans are living right now. And, and it's kind of like, yeah, a lot of us are using coupons. We're trying to be careful. We want to make sure that, we have enough to pay for this and that. And but it's a lot of it's a catch-22. It's a catch-22. It's kind of like it's if you do this, then you don't have this, and then and this and this. And then I was talking with my daughter. It's just like, on one hand, I hear this. Well, this is doing great, blah, 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 blah. Everything looks so great. And then on the other hand, you're noticing that people, either the businesses, this business is shutting down, or like some of the stuff you buy, like when you go to the store. And all of a sudden, like at one time, just even 2 years ago, you bought this product and it was this large, and then it was, let's say you bought this product, it was $5. And then you go to the supermarket and you get the same product, except it's like maybe 2-3 ounces smaller, and it's the same price. Or it's the packaging is a little bit more flimsy. Just like, some of the bottled waters. I remember years ago, I say 10 years ago, you could buy bottled waters and they were pretty sturdy. And I'm not naming brands, but, you know, it's not funny when, I mean, it's not funny when, you know, let's say you have to take some medication, and you got your pill in your hand, and you grab your bottled water, and the bottle is so thin, and you squeeze it. You know, I mean, you're trying to get the lid off, and your hand squeezes it, and the water comes rushing out, and it gets on your medication. I'm just saying, it's this type of thing going on. It's like you're paying the same price, if not more, but then the product is made cheaper. It's thinner, or it's cheaper, or it's just, and they give you the feel that you're getting the same thing, but you're not getting the same thing. And I think what burns me up, I think in some ways, is because, you know, the average American is pretty smart. I mean, you know, that's why I said, you know, in one of my last videos, it's like, you know, I'm proud to be an American. I was born and raised in California. I love this country. I want to see the best, not just for this country, but the whole world. But it's like, you know, in some ways, some people, I don't know what it is. It's sort of like they don't think that, you know, some of us are very bright, and they'll say, well, you know, you're getting a good deal. It's like, no, you're not. And, you know, right now when people are watching their pennies and, you know, and things like I'm not gonna lie to you, like I have some insurance, I won't say what it is. It went up this past month, and then other things. And it's not just me, it's affecting everybody. And so for me, you know, I'm not a financial wizard, but what I'm saying is, I was talking with my daughter, and she's really, really smart. I mean, and I'm just so proud of her, because she'll find, like the other day, and you probably say, well, Ann needs this, but because I got a little weight on me. But the thing is, we bought this scale about 3-4 months ago, and I was trying to save money, and you get on the scale, and you get on there, and it says, okay, you weigh this much. It was a digital deal. And so first it says, I'm gonna just I'm not gonna tell you how much I weigh, but I'm a little embarrassed. But let's go with, I want to make myself a little thinner here. Let's say you think, okay, let's say you get on this as 115. Then all of a sudden, oh, okay. Then I get on. I usually double check, so I get on there again, and then it says 118. Then I get on the scale again. It's a 122. And I thought, well, maybe because it's on a slope, so we try to put it on a flatter surface. And it was doing it to my daughter, my husband, myself. I mean, the weight would change every time you get on there. So finally I told my daughter, look, I'm fed up with it. I don't, you know, I can't tell how much I weigh. Not that it would make much difference, but still, it's just the principle. And then my daughter found a really great scale, and this is what I'm talking about, how great she shops. She's only like 20 years old, and she's smarter than me, I'm telling you. She found a scale that, you know, it's not digital, it's kind of the old-timey deal, but it looks really cool. And I think the original price was, Rose, how much was it?
It was originally, the price tag I think was like $25 on Amazon, but I think it's normally like a $30 scale. But off the $25, I had a $5 coupon, so it was like $20.
Yeah,
a little bit under that, I think. Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, and this is what I'm saying. It's like she found a great scale, used a coupon, and you know, and we got the scale. Came in 2 days. Works great. I can kind of, you know, I can see what my weight is, at least, you know, I can get on there 3 times and it says the same weight pretty much. But it's that type of thing. I think people don't want to talk about it because in a way it's like, you know, but I know it's even 2 years ago, Now my daughter, she does, she has her own car, and my husband has got his car, and he goes to work. I'm handicapped, so I don't drive. I haven't. Well, I just don't drive at this point. And so my daughter does the driving, which I really appreciate big time. But sometimes we'll try to stop for lunch here and there. But we noticed, like, even 2 years ago, certain places, like, first start off at restaurants, and then you see a little bit less people. But then all of a sudden, even like the fast food places, we were seeing less and less people. And I says, despite what I'm looking at on the news, and it could be different news places, it just doesn't add up. The numbers are not adding up. And this is where I want to thank people who post their videos onto YouTube and talk about the way it really is, because in many ways, I told my daughters, like, it just doesn't look like, what they say on one thing and what is are two different things. So, but anyway, I could go on about that all day, and I don't want to do that. But but mainly I just wanted to, talk about how thankful we are for being able to. I want to thank Jesus, or our Blessed Mother, Papa's, Grandpa's. I want to thank Jesus in heaven for allowing us to take this 4 day. It was a really great 4-day trip down to Myrtle Beach. We had a great time, and but I am praying for Jack. I pray his mouth's going to get better, and of course, if it's okay with everybody, I like to pray for all of you. Like I said, I want to pray that everything goes super great with you guys. And my husband made a suggestion, and I haven't really done it. And so I'm going to ask you if you can, what's it he said?
Leave a like.
Yeah, if you can leave a like, if you happen to be seeing, our video, and I don't have a lot of people, looking at our video, but if you happen to see ours, if you can give it a like, I greatly appreciate it. Right now we're just extremely thankful to be on YouTube, and we're just really happy about being on here. And so anyway, I'm gonna cut this short because I'll be on here for the next hour. And but I want to wish all of you a blessed day. God bless all of you, and thank you for listening to me.